Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Iron and Integrity here. Recently, a tragedy took place where 17-year-old high school student Austin Metcalf was stabbed at a track meet and later died due to his injuries. I've been seeing a lot about this tragic situation where people are trying to use it as a way to get their political point across. I've been seeing a lot of things like the Wokeness account saying that after this murder there was zero national outrage or zero national coverage, which obviously isn't true. This story was covered by CNN, Fox News, the New York Post, NBC. They go on to say that barely any news outlet covered the Austin Metcalf story, but obviously that's not true. Every major network did, and then the ones that didn't mention the race, which also isn't true because they have the criminal's mugshot blown up on the article, as you can see here. People then go on to compare this situation to George Floyd's situation, which happened 5 years ago. Obviously, the Austin Metcalf story is a tragedy, but you're comparing it to a police officer murdering a man in the streets to a 17-year-old criminal murdering somebody at a track meet. This picture complains that there was no protest for Austin Metcalf. But if you think this is a problem, then you should protest. That is your First Amendment right. So I really don't understand this argument because it is up to you to protest. The next thing I've been seeing a lot of is people saying if the races were reversed, then there would be national coverage, which there already is, and that people would be more outraged. And Wokeness put out a tweet saying that the media only focuses on white on black crime. And it also says the white on black crime since 2018 has been 59,778 instances. If you do some math, that would mean there's about 32 instances a day of white on black interracial violence. Do you see 32 different news articles every single day on every major outlet? No, you don't even see one. And this goes to my point of people making up things just to be angry at. There was no proof that there would be any more national outrage if the student who was murdered was black. Wokeness wouldn't even be talking about it if the roles were reversed, because that's what they do. If you don't believe me, I would ask if you know who Ryan Palmeter is. He was a man who went to a Dollar General in Florida with the sole intent to kill black people. He was successful as he killed 3 black people, and then he turned the gun on himself, taking his own life. He did this for the sole reason that he hated black people. This is not nearly as large of a story as Austin Metcalf. So people saying that every time a white man kills a black person, it's a national outrage, it's just not true. They have selective outrage. For instance, they put up a tweet saying that an illegal man killed a teenager from a hit and run. They have no other tweet of anybody else dying from a hit and run, despite about 120 people dying per day from accident-related deaths. They are the definition of selective outrage. Vehicular deaths are one of the leading causes of teenagers dying. But Wokeness doesn't have any other tweets about a hit and run happening and a teenager dying because they don't really care. They care that an illegal immigrant did it. It's the same thing with Austin Metcalf. It's so sad that this kid died. And the first thing these people can do is use his death for political gain. They want to make black people out to be thugs and no remorse criminals. Because in reality, the person running the Wokeness account does not care about Austin Metcalf. They only care that a black person killed him. If he really cared about Austin Metcalf and his family, he has over 3.5 million followers, so he could have put up a GoFundMe or even a tweet giving condolences to his family, but he didn't. All they did was bash the media for not covering the story, even though they did. People like Wokeness want to use situations like this to make all black people look like a problem race. That's why when you go in the comments, you see people say racist things such as that black people are the problem race, and they bring up the 13 and 50 statistic. You can feel bad about the Austin Metcalf situation without hating black people or trying to turn people against each other. The situation that happened to Austin was awful, but that doesn't excuse racism. People will use the 1350 statistic or the 1390 statistic to try to show that all black people are evil. These people do not know how statistics work. Even if you take away the fact that black men are 7 times more likely to be exonerated for a crime than any other race, about 1 in 4 black men are convicted felons. That doesn't sound good, but that means if you run into a random black man, that means there's a 75% chance he's not a felon. But people still use that statistic to show, well, black people must be inherently violent when it's just not the case. It's not fair to be lumped in with an entire group of people just because you share a similar characteristic. Are you scared every time you see a man out in public? Because if you're scared every time you see a black person out in public, you should be scared of the man, because despite making up 50% of the population, men commit 97% of sexual crimes. Obviously, a vast majority of men will never commit a sexual crime in their lives. But 97% of all sexual crimes are committed by men. That doesn't mean you should fear every single man. It is wrong to lump every single person who shares a similar characteristic into one group of being good or bad. It is also illogical. It doesn't make any sense. I just want the next time you see somebody say if the roles were reversed, national news would be a lot angrier. I just want you to give that more thought. Or next time you see a person using a 1350 statistic, ask if we should remove all men from the country as well. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.
Artlist.io